Here's a fun fact I feel like some people know, is that New Jersey and Oregon are the only two states in the United States that it is illegal to pump your own gas. It sounds silly, but it is a practical problem, and I wanted to discuss it in today's video. As a resident of Oregon, I've been here for, I don't know, 9 years now, 8 years, so I've seen it firsthand, and I wanted to discuss it, what's going on, why it happened in the first place, and some of the efforts that are being made to remove this law so that you can pump your gas no matter what. So Oregon and New Jersey are the two states where it's illegal to pump your own gas, but that has not always been the case. In early times in the 20th century, for most of the time, you were not able to pump your own gas. It didn't start happening until the 1970s when it was determined that it was going to save money for the gas stations to not have people, the attendants, to have to pay them. So you get the self-serve that 48 of the other states know and love to this day. But you have New Jersey and Oregon, which have stayed at that point, and you've gotten some comments in recent years about Oregonians don't know how to pump their own gas. It would be dangerous to let them do it. So I wanted to talk about some of the reasoning that I found from the state of Oregon and New Jersey for why they still to this day do not allow you to pump your own gas. I want to talk about my personal experience, and some of the gripes that I've had is that I was always told that it was because of jobs. It allowed people to work at these gas stations and allowed much more jobs than you would have in a normal state. And I was okay with that for a bit. But the biggest gripe that I had is that I was going on a road trip. I was driving from Seattle back down to Portland. Right after I crossed the river, I was very low on gas, and I went to go fill up at around 10 p.m. and the gas stations were closed, and I was too low on gas to make it back across the river. So I was stranded there overnight because gas stations were closed. If you're not going to be able to pay someone to stay there to pump the gas, I feel like I should legally be able to pump my own gas. Turns out that was not actually the main reasoning behind it. It was safety. So let's talk about some of the reasons behind it. So Oregon's big argument is that it is a safety issue. When you look at it, the National Fire Protection Association says that 5,000 gas station fires occur per year that cause 48 injuries, 2 civilian deaths, and around $20 million in property damage per year. That's 64,000 gas stations in the United States. If you do the math, that is 0.078 fires per gas station per year. So then I looked through the laws that's actually in place for Oregon, and I wanted to talk about some of the claims for why they have decided to make this a law, because some of them are kind of ridiculous. Reduces fire hazards. Okay. Safety hazards are unenforceable at self-service. Okay, I disagree, but can't really talk about that much. High liability insurance means higher prices. The dangers of crime and slick surfaces described in subsection 3 of this section are enhanced because Oregon's weather is uniquely adverse, causing wet pavement and reduced visibility. When you look at it, Oregon and Seattle are known as being these rainy places, but it doesn't rain during the summer. Portland gets 43 inches of rain per year, which is just 5 inches more than the US average, and it doesn't rain during the summer. So kind of disagree on that one. Everywhere else gets rain. Senior citizens, it's the idea that people older in age aren't going to be able to pump their own gas. Full service is an option in pretty much every place. Exposure to toxic fumes, heightened when pregnant. I've seen these articles about people talking about why they don't want to pump their own gas because they don't want to be covered in gas. I grew up in California. I have never accidentally pumped gas onto myself. So whenever I see that, I'm just like, that's so stupid. Practice of charging higher prices for full service discriminates against customers with lower incomes. Don't forget about the elderly. Okay, don't have a lot to say about that one. Says that self-service doesn't provide sustained reduction in fuel prices to customers. I haven't seen the numbers on that. And finally, small children left unattended while you go to pay for it. You just pay right next to the car. I don't get it. Some of these reasonings seem so stupid to me. And I wanted to look to see what New Jersey had to say about it, because most of the stuff I saw was about Oregon and not New Jersey. And then I found that New Jersey doesn't actually want to change the law. When the polls that I saw, 44% of people in Oregon support the move to self-service. When you look at New Jersey, 73% of people say that they do not want it changed. I saw a popular bumper sticker for New Jersey that says, New Jersey girls don't pump gas. So it kind of seems like a cultural thing. They're cool with it. You know what? I'm in Oregon. I'm ready to fight that fight. So let's talk about some of the hope for Oregon that this will change. In 2018, a law was passed that allowed people to pump their own gas in counties with less than 40,000 people in it. In addition, you're able to pump your own gas for diesel vehicles. I had an experience with this on the coast in Oregon where I thought that I was in a county that had less than 40,000 people. I was wrong. I got yelled at, and I haven't tried to do it since. But House Bill 4151 in 2022 attempted to get this law changed. And surprisingly, it was supported by both members of the Democratic and Republican Party, which in this day and age is pretty rare. When you look at some of the quotes that came from this article that had it associated with it, Maxwell says he's been tracking how much time it takes for him to get gas. It ranges from 17 minutes to infinite minutes. because gas stations were closed at 8 a.m. due to zero attendance. I absolutely agree. It takes way longer to get gas in Oregon than pretty much every other state, I would agree. But this bill was delayed because the fire marshal came out and said that they would need $543,000 to regulate consumer pumping. It's not that difficult. I don't understand where this number comes from. I haven't been able to find additional information on it, but the fact that they think that they need $500,000 to educate the public on how to pump gas is ridiculous to me and seems like a really stupid reason to keep this law in effect. So to wrap this up, Oregon and New Jersey remain as the only two states where it is illegal to pump your own gas. And it doesn't seem like it's really going to change anytime soon. New Jersey is pretty happy about keeping it that way, and Oregon is around 50-50, so it's going to take a lot of effort to get it going towards the other direction. As an Oregonian, I just want to be able to pump my gas no matter what time of the day it is. I'm fine having an attendant do it during the day, but if I have to get up for work at 5 o'clock, I'm not able to pump my own gas in the morning. I think that's ridiculous. I want to be able to pump my gas when I wake up in the morning, and I don't want to have to wait for an attendant if they're not there. Seems silly to me. But thank you for watching. My name is Andy. I wanted to talk about some of my gripes that I have with pumping your own gas in Oregon. If there is a topic you'd like me to research and teach other people about, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And if you made it this far, please hit that like and subscribe button, as it would help my channel out a lot. My name is Andy, and I will see you in the next video.